I pushed open the heavy glass door of Elysian Gems, the fanciest jewelry store in downtown Los Angeles, and instantly felt like a fish out of water in a tank full of sharks. The light from crystal chandeliers bounced off glass cases, where diamonds sparkled like they were whispering, "You don't belong here." I was rocking a faded white t-shirt, ripped jeans, and beat-up sandals. I probably looked like I just rolled out of a laundromat, but all I could think was, Mom deserves this gift, no matter what these people think of me. I stepped up to a display case, my eyes locked on a pearl necklace gleaming on black velvet. It was the perfect birthday present for Mom, the woman who raised me single-handedly, always wearing that cheap plastic necklace she called her treasure. I barely touched the glass when a sharp voice cut through the air. "Hey, lady, the dollar store south down the street." I looked up and met the eyes of Vincent, a salesman in a slick suit with a smirk that screamed trouble. He scanned me head to toe, like I was a smudge on their marble floor. If looking broke is a vibe, I'm totally nailing it, I thought, trying to stay cool. "Hi, I'd like to see that pearl necklace," I said, keeping my voice calm but firm. Vincent let out a laugh that echoed, drawing stares from a few ritzy customers. An older woman in a fur coat, let us call her Mrs. Harper, covered her mouth, giggling. Great, now I'm the free entertainment, I thought, my cheeks burning. "That necklace is $150,000, Vincent said, dragging out each word like he was teaching a kid the alphabet. "You sure you're in the right place?" Before I could answer, a cold voice chimed in. Claudia, the store manager, strutted over, her hair in a tight bun and her eyes sharp as knives. "You're wasting our time," she said, crossing her arms. "This is a place for serious customers. If you don't have business here, please leave." My heart sank, like someone had just squeezed it dry. They don't know who I am, and I don't need to prove anything, I told myself, but the humiliation stung hard. I glanced at Tina, a young employee nearby, her eyes flickering with sympathy, but too scared to speak up. I gave her a weak smile, then turned and walked out, Claudia's glare and Mrs. Harper's laughter chasing me through the door. Outside, the California sun hit me like a spotlight, stinging my eyes. I'm used to getting side-eye, but this was next-level rude. I took a deep breath, wondering if I should just give up. Then I pictured Mom, and I knew I wasn't done. They think I don't belong? They're about to eat their words. Look, if you think what they did was totally out of line, drop a comment with the number 1 below. Or tell me, have you ever been treated like this just for how you look? I'm dying to hear your stories. I slumped onto a bench in a nearby park, the hum of Los Angeles traffic fading as I stared at the cracked pavement. The sting of Claudia's words and Vincent's smirk still burned, but I wasn't ready to let Elysian Gems have the last laugh. They think they can judge me by my ripped jeans? They don't know half my story. I closed my eyes, and the image of Mom floated up her weathered hands, her warm smile, that cheap plastic necklace she wore like it was Tiffany's. That's why I was here, and no stuck-up jewelry store was going to stop me. Growing up, it was just me and Mom in a tiny apartment where the radiator clanked louder than our TV. She worked double shifts as a diner waitress, always coming home with sore feet, but never a complaint. "You're my treasure, Lila," she'd say, tucking me in with that goofy plastic necklace dangling from her neck. She called it her lucky charm, but I knew it was just a dollar store trinket. Now, at 34, I wanted to give her something real, a pearl necklace that screamed, "You deserve the world, Mom." I'm not some random dreamer wandering into Elysian Gems. I founded Bright Futures, a nonprofit that's helped thousands of orphaned kids get a shot at a better life. It started small, just me, a beat-up laptop, and a crazy idea to make a difference. Now, it's got millions in funding, and yeah, I've made some smart investments along the way. I could buy that necklace 10 times over, but I don't flaunt it. What is the point of wealth if it turns you into someone like Vincent? I wear my old t-shirts and jeans because they keep me grounded, connected to the kids I help, like Toby, a 10-year-old at Bright Futures who gave me a crayon drawing of a superhero last week. That S.U. Lila, he said, grinning. That picture is worth more to me than any diamond. I pulled out my phone, my thumb hovering over Nathan's number. My husband would lose it if he heard how they treated me. Maybe I should just let this go, find another store. But then I thought of Mom, her hands rough from years of scrubbing dishes, and I felt a spark of anger not just for me, but for anyone who has ever been looked down on for how they dress. I'm not here to play their game, but I'm not backing down either. I pictured Toby's drawing, his little voice calling me a superhero. Okay, kid, let us see if I can live up to that. I hit call, my heart racing. Nathan picked up on the first ring, his voice like a warm blanket. Hey, babe, what is up? I took a deep breath, the words tumbling out Vincent's sneer, Claudia's icy dismissal, the laughter that followed me out the door. I don't want to crush them, Nathan, I said. But they need to learn that worth isn't about what you wear. He chuckled, and I could almost see his eyes twinkling. Don't worry, Lila. I've got an idea that'll make them rethink everything. Oh, boy. Nathan's ideas are never small. I smiled, feeling lighter already. If looking broke got me kicked out, let us see what happens when they meet the real me. Sitting on that park bench, phone pressed to my ear, I spilled the whole ugly story to Nathan. Vincent's sneer, Claudia's cold dismissal, the way Mrs. Harper's laugh followed me out of Elysian Gems. My voice shook, not just from anger but from the weight of it all. I've dealt with judgment before, but this was personal. I pictured Mom's face when she sees that pearl necklace, and I knew I couldn't let those snobs win. I don't want to crush them, Nathan, I said, kicking a pebble across the path. But they need to learn that worth isn't about what you wear. Nathan's chuckle came through the phone, warm and mischievous. Oh, Lila, you're too nice. Don't worry, babe, I've got an idea that'll make them rethink their whole attitude. Here we go, I thought, grinning despite myself. Nathan's ideas are like Hollywood blockbusters, big, bold, and impossible to ignore. Knowing him, he might roll up in a spaceship just to make a point. Hold on, hotshot, I teased. No buying the store and firing everyone, okay? I don't want revenge. I want awareness. I paused, thinking of Tina, the young employee who looked at me with kindness, and Toby, the kid from Bright Futures whose superhero drawing still sat in my bag. This isn't just about me. It's about every person who has been made to feel small because they don't look the part. Nathan got quiet, the kind of quiet that means he is plotting something epic. Trust me, he finally said. We'll give them a wake-up call they won't forget. Something that'll hit them where it hurts their pride. I could hear the grin in his voice, and my stomach did a little flip. Nathan's not just my husband, he's my partner in crime, the guy who went from being an orphan to a tech billionaire without losing his heart. If anyone could pull this off, it was him. Okay, but keep it classy, I said, half laughing. I'm supposed to be the superhero, remember? Toby's counting on me. Nathan laughed, and I felt the tension in my chest loosen. Maybe I don't need to prove anything to those jerks, but I can show them what real value looks like. I hung up, staring at the park's swaying palm trees. The humiliation from Elysian Gems still stung, but now it fueled something else, determination. They thought they could kick me out for looking broke? Well, Nathan's about to bring a whole new kind of shine to their doorstep. I stood up, brushing off my jeans. Let us see how they handle the real Lila Carter. I sat in a cozy coffee shop across from Elysian Gems, sipping a latte and watching the drama unfold on Nathan's live stream. This guy and his gadgets, I thought, grinning as my phone screen lit up with the view from his lapel camera. The morning sun glinted off the jewelry store's glass facade, making it look like a palace of snobbery. Yesterday, they kicked me out for looking broke. Today? Buckle up, folks. My heart raced, not from nerves, but from the thrill of what was coming. Nathan doesn't do subtle, and I'm here for it. At exactly 10:15 a.m., the street outside Elysian Gems went quiet, like the calm before a blockbuster explosion. Then it appeared a Bentley Mulsanne limousine, so long it could be doubled as a runway, its midnight blue finish shimmering like liquid starlight. "Oh, Nathan, you show off," I thought, nearly spitting out my coffee. The limo glided to a stop right in front of the store, and every head inside turned. Even from across the street, I could feel the collective jaw drop. A uniformed chauffeur stepped out, white gloves and all, and opened the rear door with the precision of a royal guard. Out came Nathan Carter, my husband, looking like he'd just walked off a GQ cover. His tailored charcoal suit screamed money, but his easy smile said, "I'm here to shake things up." A trio of assistants trailed him, carrying sleek briefcases. Is he buying the necklace or the whole dang store? I wondered, half laughing. Inside, Vincent froze mid-pitch to a customer, his slick salesman grin fading. Claudia rushed from her office, her heels clicking like a panicked metronome. I zoomed in on the live stream, catching Vincent's face. Yep, he's calculating whether to apologize or bolt to Mexico. Mrs. Harper, the fur coat lady from yesterday, stood by a display case, her eyes wide. "Not laughing now, are you?" Nathan strode into the store, his presence filling the room like a summer storm. "Good morning," he said, his voice calm but commanding. "I'm here about a pearl necklace my wife was interested in yesterday." Claudia plastered on a smile, but Vincent looked like he'd swallowed a lemon. "Of course, sir," Claudia said. "Which piece would that be?" "The $150,000 pearl necklace," Nathan replied, then dropped the bomb. "My wife, Lila Carter, came in to buy it. You know, the woman you told to leave because she didn't look serious?" The silence was deafening. Vincent's face drained of color, and Claudia's smile cracked like cheap glass. "Oh man, I shouldn't be enjoying this, but it's too good," I thought, stifling a giggle. On the live stream, Tina, the young employee, bit her lip, her eyes darting between Nathan and her bosses. "Hang in there. Tina, you're the only one who got it right." Nathan didn't stop. "I'd like to see the necklace," he said, then added casually, "and while we're at it, I'm considering a custom jewelry collection for my wife's nonprofit, Bright Futures. You know, the one that's raised millions for orphan kids? I'm thinking a few $1,000,000 worth." Claudia's jaw hit the floor, and Vincent looked physically ill. Plot twist of the century, I thought, my heart pounding with pride. Nathan wasn't just here for the necklace, he was here to flip their world upside down. I leaned back in my chair, sipping my latte. They thought I didn't belong? Well, Nathan's about to show them what belonging really means. Still glued to Nathan's live stream from the coffee shop, I watched the Elysian Gems showroom turn into a scene straight out of a reality TV showdown. Nathan stood tall, his calm voice cutting through the tension like a knife. Vincent and Claudia were sweating bullets, their perfect little world crumbling under the weight of his words. This is better than any blockbuster, I thought, my latte long forgotten. But beneath the thrill, I felt a tug of something deeper. This isn't just about proving them wrong, it's about making them see. Nathan leaned against a display case, casual but commanding. "So," he said, fixing Claudia with a look that could melt steel, "why exactly did you kick my wife out yesterday?" "I'm curious." Claudia stammered, her usual ice queen vibe nowhere to be found. "Mr. Carter, we didn't realize it was a misunderstanding." Vincent nodded like a bobblehead, his face screaming, "Please don't fire me." Misunderstanding? Nice try, I thought, rolling my eyes. ID felt their judgment like a punch to the gut. Those weren't accidental side eyes. I glanced at Tina on the live stream, hovering near the back, her hands twisting nervously. She's the only one who didn't make me feel like trash. I remembered her sympathetic glance yesterday, and it hit me. She reminded me of myself 10 years ago, starting bright futures with nothing but grit and a dream. Before Claudia could spin more excuses, Tina stepped forward, her voice shaky but clear. "It wasn't a misunderstanding," she said, ignoring Vincent's death glare. Lila was polite, asking about the pearl necklace, and I tried to help, but Claudia told me to back off. They judged her because of her clothes. The room went silent. Even Nathan raised an eyebrow, impressed. "Tina, you absolute rock star," I thought, my heart swelling. Claudia's face turned beet red, but Nathan didn't pounce. Instead, he nodded thoughtfully. "Thanks for the honesty, Tina," he said, then turned back to Claudia. "Here's the deal. I was planning to drop a few million on a jewelry collection for Bright Future's next fundraiser. But after how you treated Lila, I'm not sure this is the right place for my business." Vincent looked like he might faint, and Mrs. Harper in the corner shifted uncomfortably, probably regretting her giggle fest yesterday. But Nathan continued, "I believe in second chances. Lila's nonprofit is hosting a charity event this weekend for orphan kids. How about Elysian Gems sponsors it? Say, a donation to match the cost of that pearl necklace?" He smiled, but it was the kind of smile that said, "Your move." Classic Nathan, hitting them where it hurts without throwing a single punch, I thought, grinning. This wasn't about revenge, it was about teaching them that value isn't in a price tag. I pictured Toby, the kid from Bright Futures, laughing at that event, and my chest tightened. This is bigger than me or that necklace. It's about showing them what really matters. Claudia nodded stiffly, clearly cornered. "We'd be honored," she muttered. Nathan glanced at Tina, giving her a subtle nod. "Oh, they're in for a wake-up call," I thought, leaning back. "And I can't wait to see it." The park was buzzing with laughter as I stood under a canopy, watching the Bright Futures charity event come to life. Kids from the nonprofit darted around, their faces smeared with paint from a craft station, while volunteers handed out lemonade and hot dogs. This is what it's all about, I thought, my heart full. But my eyes kept drifting to Vincent and Claudia, who looked like fish out of water in their crisp Elysian Gems polos, helping set up tables. 2 days ago, they kicked me out. Now they're here, and I'm not sure if I'm more surprised or amused. Vincent, usually so slick, was fumbling with a stack of paper plates, his tie askew. He's like a puppy trying to figure out a new trick, I thought, stifling a laugh. Claudia, meanwhile, was directing volunteers with her usual bossy vibe, but I caught her sneaking glances at the kids, her expression softening. Maybe there's hope for her yet. I decided to join the event in person, not to gloat, but to see if Nathan's plan was working. This isn't about rubbing it in, it's about showing them what really matters. Then I spotted Toby, the 10-year-old from Bright Futures who'd drawn me as a superhero. He was at the craft station, showing Vincent how to make slime. No, you gotta stir it like this." Toby giggled, grabbing Vincent's hand. Vincent, to my shock, didn't pull away. Instead, he laughed a real, honest laugh and followed Toby's lead. "Okay, who replaced Mr. Smirky with this guy?" I thought, my jaw dropping. Toby handed Vincent a glob of green slime, and when it slipped through Vincent's fingers onto his polo, the kids around him burst into giggles. Vincent just shrugged, smearing some on Toby's nose. "Well, I'll be darned. He's actually having fun." I wandered over, catching Vincent's eye. Not bad for a jewelry guy, I said, grinning. He blushed, wiping slime off his hands. These kids are something else, he said, glancing at Toby, who was now teaching another kid the slime trick. Toby's been telling me about your program. I had no idea. His voice was quieter, almost humble. Humble? Vincent? I need to mark this day on the calendar. Claudia joined us, her usual icy demeanor thawed just a bit. This is impressive, Lila, she said, gesturing to the event. We didn't know about bright futures. I nodded, keeping my tone gentle. Most people don't. That's why I dress the way I do. It keeps me connected to these kids. Claudia looked away, and I swore I saw a flicker of guilt. Baby steps, I guess. As the sun dipped low, painting the park in gold, I watched Toby high-five Vincent, both of them grinning like old pals. This is what Nathan meant by awareness, I thought, my chest tightening. It's not about shaming them, it's about opening their eyes. Vincent wasn't the same guy who sneered at me, and Claudia wasn't the ice queen anymore. Maybe people can change if you give them a chance to see the world differently. The Bright Futures charity event was winding down, the park glowing under strings of fairy lights as kids clutched their craft projects and volunteers cleaned up. I stood by the lemonade stand, watching Vincent help Toby pack up his slime supplies. Who would thought Mr. Smirky could turn into Mr. Nice Guy? I thought, a smile tugging at my lips. The air felt lighter, like the weight of Elysian Gem's judgment had finally lifted. Maybe this is what healing feels like, not just for them, but for me too. Vincent caught my eye and walked over, his usual swagger replaced by something softer, almost nervous. Lila, he started, rubbing the back of his neck. I owe you an apology. The way I treated you at the store, it was wrong. I judged you by your clothes, and I'm sorry. There's no excuse. His eyes met mine, steady and sincere. Well, knock me over with a feather, this is real, I thought, my heart softening. I wanted them to feel bad, but seeing Vincent own up like this, it was better than any revenge. No excuse needed, I said gently. But what you did today, helping these kids, listening to Toby, that's what matters. Keep showing up, okay? He nodded, a small smile breaking through. I'm in. I want to volunteer regularly. Toby's already got me signed up for slime duty. Toby, you little mastermind, I thought, chuckling. Claudia approached, her usual icy vibe thawed into something human. Lila, I've been talking to our board, she said, her voice steady. Elysian Gems is setting up a scholarship fund for Bright Futures kids, starting with a donation to match that pearl necklace's cost. I blinked, stunned. From kicking me out to funding scholarships? That's a plot twist I didn't see coming. That's incredible, I said, meaning it. It'll change lives. Claudia gave a small nod, and for the first time, I saw a flicker of pride in her eyes, not arrogance, but something genuine. Then I heard a familiar voice behind me. Lila, honey, this is beautiful. I turned to see Mom, her gray hair pulled back, her smile as warm as ever. I invited her to the event, and now, holding the box with the pearl necklace, I felt my throat tighten. This is for you, I said, handing it to her. She opened it, her eyes welling up as she touched the pearls. Oh, Lila, it's too much, she whispered, pulling me into a hug. Too much? Mom, you're worth the world, I thought, tears prickling my eyes. She told Vincent and Claudia about our tough years, her voice steady but full of love. Vincent listened, his expression heavy, like he was seeing the real cost of his snap judgments. As Mom slipped on the necklace, I looked at Vincent and Claudia, their faces softer now, changed. I thought I wanted them to feel small, but watching them step up, that's the real win. Nathan joined us, his arm around my shoulders, and I leaned into him. We didn't just get a necklace, we got a chance to show what really shines. The Bright Futures Community Center was alive with music and laughter, transformed into a glowing haven for a special evening party. Twinkling lights hung from the rafters, and tables overflowed with cupcakes and punch, courtesy of our volunteers. Kids from the nonprofit, their faces painted with stars and superheroes, darted between games, their giggles filling the air. I stood by the door, my heart so full it felt like it might burst. This is home, I thought, watching Toby lead a conga line of kids, his grin brighter than any jewel at Elysian Gems. 2 weeks ago, I was kicked out for looking broke. Tonight, we're all shining. Vincent was in the thick of it, wearing a Bright Futures t-shirt instead of his usual slick suit, helping kids pin tails on a donkey poster. From sneering salesman to volunteer rock star, I thought, smiling. He signed up as a regular volunteer, even mentoring Toby in an after-school art program. Claudia was here too, quieter but present, handing out glow sticks. She revamped Elysian Gems policies, no more judging customers by appearance, and their scholarship fund was already helping 3 Bright Futures kids. They didn't just show up, they stepped up, I thought, a lump forming in my throat. I caught Toby's eye and beckoned him over, pulling a small velvet pouch from my pocket. "This is for you," I said, handing him a simple silver bracelet with a tiny star charm. "Because you're my superhero, kid." His eyes widened, and he threw his arms around me, nearly knocking me over. "You're the best, Lila." He squealed. "Oh, Toby, you're teaching me more than I'll ever teach you," I thought, blinking back tears. I glanced at Vincent, who was watching with a soft smile, and nodded. He found Toby's old superhero drawing in the store after I left that day, and it had changed him. Sometimes, it's the smallest things that spark the biggest shifts. Nathan joined me, his hand warm on my back. "You did this, Lila," he whispered, gesturing to the joyful chaos. I shook my head. "We did this, you, me, Toby, even Vincent and Claudia." I thought of Mom, who stayed home tonight but was wearing her pearl necklace, her voice on the phone earlier full of pride. "You've always been my treasure," she said. "I used to think being poor was a weakness, but it taught me how to love. And being rich? It's only worth it if you use it to lift others up." As the kids gathered for a group song, their voices rising in a messy, beautiful chorus, I looked around at Vincent high-fiving Toby, Claudia laughing with a volunteer, Nathan squeezing my hand. This is what value looks like, not in a bank account, but in the way we see each other. My heart ached with gratitude, not just for the change in Elysian Gems, but for the reminder that kindness can rewrite any story. I turned to the camera Nathan had set up for Bright Futures social media, my voice steady but full. "Tonight, I learned that real worth isn't in your wallet, it's in how you treat people, especially when you think no one else watching. If you've ever been judged for how you look or seen someone rise above it, drop your story in the comments. I'm dying to hear it. And if this night touched your heart, hit that like button and subscribe to join our little family of dreamers. Let us keep shining together." As the song ended and the kids cheered, I felt like I was glowing too. They thought I didn't belong? Turns out we all do, right here, where love outshines everything.